Hello and welcome to your reading. This is going to be a collective reading for anyone and everyone, messed that up a bit, watching this video. So always take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and we are gonna get right into, actually I almost forgot, we're gonna get right into these little charms. I hope everyone's having a good day or night wherever they are in this beautiful planet Earth of ours. And if you don't know, I recently just started pulling a bunch of these charms from this bag. And I may be adding more soon in the future just so I can have more variety, because I have enough variety, but I always feel like I need to add a few little more pieces to it. But these are just little charms to take in, take it as it resonates. And what essentially could give the person watching this, the collective watching this, a sign that this message is for them? Let's see here. Ooh. Oh my, we have we have 3 keys. And then we have 3 things representing the sea. We have a starfish, a shell. I don't know if you can see that. There's a type of shell here. It's a little hard to see. And then we have a sea turtle, it looks like. Let me just double check. Yes, it is a sea turtle. 3 keys to represent the sea. Let me see if I can get. Let me see if I can get more out. I forget what kind of shell this is. I keep wanting to say it's like a clam or a mussel, but that's wrong. I just know that's wrong. Let's see here. Mm. Ooh, these ones got caught in my hand. We have this little Eiffel Tower again, and an elephant here. Okay. Oh boy. Okay. I see this as someone traveling to the depths of their soul and removing anything that is essentially, or it's not even the depths of your own soul, it's like the depths of a certain particular situation. And I just realized that my incense is about to burn out. The the elephant here is almost like this conscious act to dive deep into something to remove any obstacles that you may find here. And I think the big thing about it for you is that I don't think you've ever been able to dive this deep into your own soul. And something about these 3 keys here, I feel like I am just getting that you are probably getting messages from any sort of triple gods, triple goddesses, specifically Hecate, because she is one of her names is the Keeper of Keys, and the fact that there are 3 keys here just always gives me that indicator. I do work with Hecate, so this may be just a message from her to you in general. I'm gonna light this the old-fashioned way because I keep. There we go. All right. I feel like there's this Keeper of Keys energy, because it's almost like I have to break these sticks so they fit in my little incense holder. The sticks are a little too long because my other incense holders are a bit too occupied right now. It's weird. My boyfriend's PC is right next to mine, and it just turned on randomly, and that's interesting. I do believe that Hecate has a message for you. I do think that if you've been getting signs to work in a liminal space, not specifically with Hecate, but it's almost like maybe with Hecate, I don't know. Always take what resonates, leave what doesn't, because something about it isn't just working with Hecate of like calling upon her for like a beck and call. Like it's not like if anyone is familiar with deity work, you know deity work isn't something that you just like my whole recording software is bugging out. I don't know what happened there. I hope that didn't like mess with the recording. But something about deity work, I feel, has been very like curious in your mind, and a lot of the times when it comes to Hecate, she is essentially the keeper of keys of the truth and of all the different literal like directions that you can go, since she is the goddess of the crossroads. Now, this is something I feel like if any of you are interested in astral travel, that is something to like get into here a bit more if you are curious about it. But it's more of like, I feel like some of you may feel like you are traveling when you're just in your dreams and not fully aware of it. And dreaming and lucid dreaming and astral travel, those are a bunch of separate things. And also separate like interesting conversations to have with someone who has astral traveled before. So there's something about like asking questions about that to someone who you know has done those things. But with the key message here of like the three keys and like Hecate, I think it's just like deities that really are there to guide us and protect us, want to show us a way, and specifically Hecate will show you the way that is not just it being handed to you on like a silver platter. It's something that is going to be like a guiding light to have you actually follow that. Like you're going to take the steps and go in the direction you need to go. What I'm hearing is I feel like you feel like there's tons of obstacles in your way, but also I think you're trying to have this faith and trust in the universe and in all of it, that there's something deeper here. Because the seashell, the sea turtle, and the starfish give me this like the depths of the ocean here and how deep something can lie within us, that it's like it's almost like removing obstacles to find something sacred within you, to find something true and sacred within you. It's funny that I am working with the Goddess Tarot. I feel like if you guys do work with Hecate or want to start working with Hecate, there's tons and tons of books out there, and I suggest always just going with, not just going with your gut, but going with your gut on the information that you do know and have. And if you are confused on the Mother Maiden Crone energy that some people kind of represent her with, the main reason people represent her as the Mother Maiden Crone, when that's also a completely different triple goddess, that is because Hecate is the three directions of past, present, and future. So people kind of use that synonymously, but the Mother Maiden Crone, I believe, is the Morgan. So it's like there's this energy of like, don't get it twisted, don't get it mixed up, but we do have three different sized keys here. very distinctual or distinct keys here. There are 3 different sizes. So this is where the liminal space kind of comes into play of the goddess of the crossroads is also the goddess of the underworld here. And this essentially symbolizes the liminal space, the in-between. And I feel like there's a big focus on your dreams, and I'm not exactly sure what that is, if it's like actual dreams or like dreams that you're having when you fall asleep and go to bed at night, or these are like your actual personal dreams that you're having like internally, like the dreams that you have for your life. Oh, dang it. Damn, so many distractions. It's something that feels related to the obstacles with the elephant charm. It's not like obstacles are like insanely distracting to you, but it's almost like you feel like you have to deal with them in order to make it through something. And I'm hearing like complete this level of travel, and I feel like this could be like external travel or like traveling in general or just moving. There's obstacles in the way of you trying to travel even astrally too, because sometimes people are thrown into astral travel and sometimes people need to learn how to do that. And sometimes the people who are thrown into astral travel are not well equipped with how to like handle that. So then once they do it once, they're not really able to do it again because they don't really know how they got there the first time. Any sort of trance-like meditation, even if you're completely sober, which I'm going to say, please take safe and legal things. I'm not condoning any really any addictive substances, but we all know that really anything can be addictive here in our world. Trance-like meditation is going to help you find that liminal space, and what you find in there is something I think the cards are gonna definitely talk about. We have the sun in reversed. Oh, okay. I just want to see a couple more cards out here, if possible. We have the sun, the emperor, technically, but the emperor, since it's the goddess tarot, it's called power, and it's Freya. Also, I don't know if you know the Zora. There's a bunch of different cultures of goddesses in this tarot deck, which is something I really like. But the fact that there's 3 of them, I'm not sure if that exactly represents the past, present, future. It's been a while since I worked with this deck, so I'm like forgetting what those goddesses actually represent, because I feel like they could represent the past, present, future. If you know, definitely let me know, or let the people know down in the comments. If you don't, then that's fine. So we have the sun in reverse, emperor, and the death card, I believe. Or is this? Oh no, this is the hermit. Is it? 2, 3, 4, 10. Not the hermit, the hangman. Okay, yes, it's the hangman. I was forgetting my count of major arcana. It's called the sacrifice. And Princess of Cups reversed. I feel like part of you is grounded in the fact that you know something needs to give in order for you to receive a level of enlightenment in the layman's terms way, most layman's terms way I can like explain it. But enlightenment isn't just like, oh, I know what I want to do with my life now. It's like, I know how I want to move. I know which direction I want to move, or how I want to move with my own emotions. And I feel like you have been super, super self sufficient. And I feel like there's a time to where you are becoming aware that you essentially can't be so self-sufficient anymore, and I feel like that kind of hurts. Like, there's something about this that's like King of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. You built something from the ground up. You were self-sufficient in doing so, and you didn't necessarily always ask for help when, not necessarily you needed to, but you weren't one to ask for help. You weren't one to sit there and say, hey, I need help on this specific thing. Mm. Have a hangnail. That was annoying. I feel like you've been constantly, like, Page of Cups here. This person's drinking from their own cup. You've constantly been filling up your own cup of fulfillment and drinking from it, and constantly doing that yourself, that it almost feels like, well, what else is there to give up? What else is there to sacrifice? I have sacrificed myself. I have sacrificed these things. In search for not just power, like, and control. It's more of like personal power in how you truly see yourself. And I think younger you feels very, very proud, but oh, there's like something missing here. And I think that's what you're trying to discover. You're trying to unblock the energy of, or unlock really the energy of, like, what's missing and why does this feel like a big obstacle of, like, what's missing. And I think the thing that got a little piece of hair in my mouth. I think the one thing that has really been sort of a grand perspective of you is how you truly see yourself, how you truly see your own personal power. Two of Cups. Integration with the self. You see your own power as something to be grateful of. You understand the integration that you can have within yourself, and you've given up a lot of things that maybe poison the water of your own cup. You would sip on it and be like, this doesn't taste right. This cup of fulfillment I'm drinking from does not taste right in a metaphorical way. Like, something's not right. I have to dump it out. I have to sacrifice this cup here. And I think you've done that, like, you're like saying, I've done that more than enough times. When is it time for me to really get right with myself or get to the point? There's something about, like, getting to the point, getting to the proper function of something. And I feel like this is someone who's like, I just want to be able to function like a normal adult. But what is a normal adult? I don't think anyone really knows what a normal adult is. And I feel like a lot of people feel like that way into their adulthood. And something about how aware you are about your own personal power makes you a more well-rounded adult than, I feel like, 80% of the people in your local area. And I don't know exactly how this is resonating for you guys, in the sense of, like, I feel like there's a lot of keywords that I'm not going to fully understand that you guys are going to fully understand. But collectively, creating a path that is clear for your personal projects and prospects, personal power, personal freedom, has allowed you to integrate with yourself deeper than I think you've ever thought. And I think this is the thing you're not truly seeing. Maybe you're missing the point on. And I feel like part of you feel like you're missing the point. It's probably why you're watching this reading. Trying to gain a more larger perspective of the point. Three of Cups. If we're counting the Princess of Cups as one cup, we have 1, 2, and 3 of Cups here. 3 of Cups reversed. Which 3 of Cups does symbolize the past, present, future selves in a way. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is a mother maiden crone in this energy. I believe. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, the one with the this is the maiden here. This is the mother. She has the crown, and this is the crone because obviously she has. Usually the crone is symbolized with a darker robe, and obviously someone who looks a lot older. I feel like you have been discussing and exploring the archetype of Mother Maiden Crone, because sometimes it's not just a deity, it is an energy and an experience that we all go through. And it's something that we all can acknowledge within ourselves of the past, present, and future. And seeing how freeing it can be when we are all collectively in, I want to say, of one mind in this 3-part energy, this 3-part cycle. And I think you're almost like tired of trying to understand because it almost feels forced. But I think the big thing is I'm hearing that like someone's not listening to their ancestors. And I think the biggest thing about that is the fact that you're not even sure what to take as truth and what to take as fallacy. You see it as something that is not necessarily not for you, but I think you're having a hard time just understanding right now, and I think the big key about this is like you'll understand in 5 years. And that's a long time for you, and that's a long time in general. But it's not like what you're doing right now isn't for anything bad. It's like what you're doing currently is still for the betterment of your future. It's still for the betterment of the integration that you are experiencing within your own soul. And I feel like the sacrifice comes with the sacrifice that I'm hearing, the sacrifice that you don't know everything, and that's okay. And the unknown is supposed to be unknown, otherwise it wouldn't be called the unknown. And to feel fulfilled with you know enough for what you need to know right now. You don't need to know everything. That Hangman card usually is like the Hangman has to come down off the tree at some point here. King of Pentacles out again. King of Pentacles and the Lover's card, but it's just love because it's Venus. You feel like not only is it difficult to love yourself currently in this time, it's almost like you feel like you have to really shed the weight of what you've created. I saw this King of Pentacles earlier, and I didn't really feel too drawn to certain parts in it, but I feel drawn to the emptiness behind the King of Pentacles here. And it's almost like that was full of things, full of abundance, full of stuff you knew you could do and pursue. And now it just feels empty. And it's like you can't explain why. But I feel like a lot of this is very clear on the choices that you're making currently. Are you choosing to let go of the fear of the unknown and truly integrate with like what the universe has planned for you? And I don't really like saying those words because I feel like some of you really still are acknowledging your free will in a lot of this, your personal power and freedom in free will. And your freedom to create a solid structure around this. It's almost like your choices matter, but I'm hearing that you're saying, like, but to what extent? And it's keeping you in this hangman energy because I feel like you don't see the new beginnings that can be created here. And maybe it's not like you don't see it, maybe it's just like that's not how you wanted things to go. And I think something has grown, come to fruition, and it's come to pass. And I feel like very heartbroken over this in a way, because I feel like what is being chosen is something that you just didn't want to choose. Like you avoided this choice. And it's not like you wanted to avoid it. It's like you wanted to see if something else would work out because you knew you had a solid plan. And I think what wasn't working out was the fact that this is also partially my personal opinion, but take it with a grain of salt. This feels like somebody having some greatness and talent about them, but they're not willing to do things in a way that basically sells their soul to a corporation or sells their soul to an industry or an agency and stuff like that. Like, you weren't willing to follow through with the same old stuff that people do, because it didn't fit within your own personal, not necessarily personal concept of originality, but your personal actual, like, I want to say creative originality. And whatever you were really creatively original in, you didn't let yourself lose that. And that's something that you're dearly holding on to here with the King of Pentacles, because that's something you created. You don't want it to be something someone else created that you just show off. You want it to be something that you created. And that's the choice here. But I think the choice is almost feeling like you have to put down this passion. But you don't. This is the thing that fulfills you. This is your creative potential here. Queen of Cups. I think someone just needs to... I think collective needs to have a moment to themselves and regain passion for their passion again. I feel like your awareness has been very, like, stuck, and that's been the big obstacle. But you knew there was deeper levels to this. You knew this was like layers to an onion, the depths of the sea, and it goes even deeper than like the unknown parts of the sea. And it almost feels like you're ready to break through, but that's a choice whether you keep your passions within you, uh, and within your life or not. This is something I feel like you are grateful that you get to do, but it's almost like someone's heartbroken that you can't do it in the way that other people want to praise something like what you do. The best way I can describe that is a lot of content creation and content creators that have like made it in this business feed off of a very parasocial relationship with their community and with their viewers. And it feeds into a lot of people seeking attention from a streamer to be codependent on an online personality rather than actually seek relationships outside of online, or seek actual, like, forming a bond instead of just trying to gain attention from a person. Because when you form a bond and relationship, that is something that you commit to, not only just committing to what this person has to offer and bring to the table, but what you also have to offer and bring to the table. And I think this is where this can happen, whether it's like parasociality or not. This type of behavior can happen in any sort of like workplace where corporate has their own way of speaking and talking to people and even looking down on them, and it's like you would technically be asked or be forced, and maybe you have been asked to like be in a corporate level position and to look down on others and to forget about others and to be like, well, we have to worry more about the budget than our actual feelings here and our morals. And you just can't throw out your morals when it comes to that. You just can't toss that to the side. I think this is someone who has like, you have a level of honesty about you that you can't not choose. And I feel like when you see how this has affected you, it loses a little bit of life towards your passion, towards what you truly want to work on, towards what you truly want to do. And I'm hearing that the whole entire world and universe is like, do not forget the things that you are passionate about and the morals that you have and how you hold yourself. How you hold yourself is so very true to what some people actually do want to see out of a corporate like person or out of a creator online, whatever it may be. It's not something that is a choice for you. Like, maybe you were offered certain things as a choice, but like when it comes to you being yourself, it's not a choice for you. You are yourself. And I think the Ace of Wands in reverse with the Queen of Cups reverse is like, the universe sees like you somewhat slipping away to that, but I feel like what's happening is you are slipping away from the surface of this ocean here, and you're basically letting yourself not necessarily dive deeper, but like fall deeper into the depths of your own soul. And I feel like it feels dark because when you go deep enough into the ocean, the sunlight can't break through the water anymore. So it's dark and you don't have a flashlight on you. You don't have a lantern or anything to like guide you in the dark. All you have is the mysterious creatures around you that essentially have bioluminescence in the ocean that can light up the dark with all of their fancy little uh, glowing bioluminescence here. And I feel like someone feels down because this metaphor of being a light in the dark, it's like you don't know how to create that. Because I think you want to create that in an essence of being seen, but this is a place that is of the unseen, of the unknown. And you're not going to be seen unless you pop all the way back up to the surface again and pop your head out of the water. Like that's the moment of being seen, essentially, in the light of the sun. And I don't know what exactly that means for some people here, because that action of falling in deeper into like your own emotions, you're almost forgetting the point that this was kind of the path to direct you around obstacles you know that you were going to face in the future. The Moon reversed. And Three of Pentacles. Just want to continue here. Six of Swords. And Judgment. The Moon, Three of Pentacles, Six of Swords reversed, and Judgment. I almost feel like that you do get it and you do understand, but the moment that you forget is like... Excuse me. I'm hearing it's like super detrimental to you. Like you feel like you can't move forward in something because you work so hard to get something right, and it's like right when you feel discouraged, it's like, well, I can't move forward now, and that's the key thing to work on. That's the big thing that I feel like the universe is asking you to work on. You've been asked to release judgment on yourself. Release judgment that, like, there isn't anything wrong with you. And there's something wrong with the world. And I feel like we definitely can feel like that in 2025. I'm filming this on September 25th, 2025. And I think the grander advice is the acceptance that there is nothing wrong with you and to move forward with what you know, because that's where the true acceptance of people who say, oh, I do want to watch an authentic creator. I do want someone in corporate or in the like I want collective to move up into the corporate world because they have these morals and values that they don't let go of, that they stick by to and they stick to their guns to. And it's almost, I keep hearing like you will find it. You will find it one day. And it doesn't necessarily have to be in a super long time. Like I'm hearing just constantly thinking I will experience it one day. I will find these people one day is something that doesn't give a timeline on anything. And when you kind of forget the timeline of how things are supposed to happen, then it's when you can genuinely focus on what you need to do in the moment. And I think this is where you in the back of your mind have been like, I don't care about the timeline, but in reality, you have always had fear that something wasn't going to happen quick enough. And I think when you release this, you can feel that you don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen one day. And maybe you've already met a couple people that actually agree with your morals and values on things, and they want to discover more about how your brain thinks and works and functions. Nine of Wands. You have a lot of ideas and passions and hobbies that I feel like people just want to pick your brain about. And also, you can't always talk about these things all at once. So sometimes we have to pick and choose what we want to focus on in the moment. It's not like you can't come back to these Nine of Wands. It's more of like this reconciliation of like, how can I work on this one day, work on that the other day, and still discuss like, hey, I have an abundance of ideas here that we could work off of, but we don't have to pick all of them. And I think maybe that's also something that needs to be released and feels a bit unknown to you, is like you feel like something's got to go or something's got to give, but nothing has to necessarily go other than what is in your mind here. The Six of Swords is the only swords card to come out here, and that is the one card of transition and letting go of things in your mind. It's something I think you wanted to be very clear on, like what you get rid of and what you accept. But sometimes it's more of accepting everything that we know we need to get rid of, and that's including fear about not being able to have something work out. Prince of Swords, which is Page of Swords, and it's looking at the Nine of Wands here. I feel like you have truly discovered something about yourself throughout this reading, something that has been nagging at you to accept. And it's not going to be something that hurts. It's going to be something that feels like, oh, I'm not crazy. Those people are, or that industry is, or that group of people are. And I believe the reading that is before this one, I think if I'm posting it in order, I kept hearing the words "birds of a feather flock together." You are not crazy for thinking that that's not normal. That's like the big message here, because something about that has been weighing on you. Like, oh, well, these people get all they want. These parasocial relationships foster all of the things that, like, you truly want out of something. Ten of Wands. You're learning to let go of all of that. You're learning that that's not normal, and there's going to be a wave of people that are going to get sick of that. It does not last forever. When they have power like that and a structure like that, it is weak. It is a weak structure that isn't going to work, and maybe they're constantly having to put out fires, having to rebuild towers when they think that if they rebuild this tower the same way that they've rebuilt it, that it's going to last this time because they put in extra supports, but then those extra supports aren't taken care of and crack and break underneath the surface, underneath the pressure of it all. Yet you are discovering that, yes, this is not normal, but it's like, I can't, collective is saying, like, I can't move past the fact that there are people that think that it's normal, and that's what needs to be released. The World card reversed. this chapter for yourself has been grand, and I feel like someone here, part of the collective, you're probably someone that actually gives a lot of, you give a lot of F's about worldly things, things happening all over the world, and how you want to maybe bring attention to that, and the fact that there are people who have specific power platform structures to talk about these things and they don't. And I think part of it is like it doesn't make sense to you why people won't do that, but it doesn't have to make sense to you. What has to make sense to you is how you're moving, how you're functioning, how you're breathing, and flourishing through all of this, because something about you is flourishing in this sense. We have the sun and the moon out. We have 2, 3-ish cards about duality. And I think you're going to have the world watch you one day, whether it be tons and tons of people or just the important people that you have wanted to have eyes on you. You're going to have important people that have eyes on you. It may not be the people that you expected, but it's going to be the people that are for you and for your morals, beliefs, your values, the things that you strive to pursue, and not something that is fake. Not something that is, oh, well, I'm just feeding people's ego. I'm just pushing the agenda of everybody else's. We have the Temperance card, which is also called Balance. This has allowed you to see yourself in a whole new light than before. And I think that's partially like what drives you crazy sometimes. It's like, why is it so easy for other people to just move forward in these things? Why is it so easy for them to just say, well, I'm just not going to talk about this really important thing, or I'm going to feed these people's egos, and I'm going to forget about the lower employees. Like, there's like something about that is been so, oh, I forgot exactly what I was saying, but it's becoming, the message is like, something's becoming so clear that like that's not your way, and needing to find breathing room and saying I am not fucking crazy is like the simplest way I can put it, and the simplest feeling. That's the balance you are being asked to give yourself, and that in itself is a choice. With the Lover's card out here, it's your choice to hold on to your morals and values and beliefs, and it's your choice to pass those things down to the people you want to pass those information or that information down to. But I think what's going to happen is you consistently holding to your like morals and values, sticking to your guns, is going to be something that brings, what I'm hearing is the whole world's watching. But it may not be the whole world. Like, we can definitely treat that as like a huge metaphor. The whole world is watching in the sense of the people that actually feel alone in the things that you discuss and talk about won't ever feel alone anymore when they see that you are truly understanding how to regain the happiness again. Because I think that's the big thing that you almost intentionally started sinking into your own ocean of your soul here. You've intentionally said that I'm not going to follow through with that, but what I am going to follow through is the transition into the healing that is needed when we sit and watch things that aren't right and that are very morally wrong happening right before our eyes, and feeling like there's nothing that we can do about it. But the main thing we can do about it is give ourselves the time and the space to discuss, hey, I don't think this is right, and I know I'm not alone in thinking that. And that's all you need to say to maybe even spark courage in someone else, saying, yeah, that isn't wrong, and maybe this is the like thing, this is the new future we can create, this is the new energy that we create. And even part of you guys, I feel like part of the collective is going and actually creating those spaces for people. And it feels like a lot of workload. But you know damn well that is worth it. You know damn well that is worth it. And if you feel like you don't have the room to keep this balance, well, honey, you gotta make the room. Because those are the obstacles in your way then. This is the thing that is clearing the path towards you. And it's not going to be an obvious thing that essentially I feel like jumps out to you. It's going to be a moment where you're like, I can't do this anymore. I can't accept this thing anymore. I just can't. And that's when you know you should start moving towards balancing your emotions, giving your body, your mind, and your emotions what it needs, and then moving forward into, we're not doing things this way anymore. We are doing it in a way that actually creates proper abundance, work ethic, functionality, actual love and happiness, and not just some fake ass parasocial response that's just gonna help people feel somewhat good about themselves when you don't really know that person, type of a thing. Like, you want to tell people as if they're like a stranger on the street and just trying to give them advice, you know? Like, it's something that isn't going to be false in how it comes across. And I feel like if people try to make you feel like it's false, it's more of like, well, they got a lot of demons they got to work through themselves, or a lot of dark things that they got to work through themselves, a lot of things that they're ignoring, that they're not wanting to accept. And if you feel like people really aren't on your side with stuff, you are going to start finding people as soon as you start truly feeling and healing the part that is calling yourself crazy for holding yourself up to these morals and values. You're not crazy, you never have been, and I think that's the point that you've been missing, is the same point that you've been bringing up year after year after year, is what you believe in isn't crazy. What you believe in isn't false or lacking context to the truth. Like, you know the truth deep down. And there may be more to talk about stuff, because you can always dive deeper onto like really any sort of conversation topic. But what holds true to you is how you understand the past and present affecting the future, and how what we strive for in the future is affected by the past and the present. Vice versa. I think I said that right. I hope that made sense. Keep working on what you're working on, though. And part of what you're needing to work on is the balance, is the finding something that rejuvenates you and isn't just filling yourself up with what you feel like you know is just, oh, I'm just hyping myself up for some delusional thing. And it's like, it's not delusional. It's something that you know you need balance with. So give yourself that grace, give yourself that balance, and allow yourself to have time to work through this. Because as soon as you remove the timeline, you see yourself really working a lot more thoroughly than before. And I forget which message this was, but this, if you have been keeping up with my videos, there was a message talking about how you know that you cannot necessarily wait out a storm, but you are essentially waiting out a storm that you see ahead, and everyone's telling you, oh, just go through the storm, it's going to be fine, like, we're going to be late to this thing, and they're rushing to get through the storm. But what they don't realize is that sends them into the rocks, and then their ship is either sinking or their ship has damage to it, and some people were tossed overboard because it halted really quickly and lurched some of the crew members overboard. When you said, no, I am sitting here, I am gonna sit at this, either this dock or in this spot, and put my anchor down and say, hey, I need to work on my ship. I need to work on myself and my, like, things around me in order to bear the weather that you know is coming. Because you know that you can't necessarily go around the storm but you can wait out the really, really rough part of it because it's not something you have to push yourself through. And I think some people feel like that's normal, is what the message was. So I feel like if you watch that video, this is definitely kind of like a part two to all of that. If you haven't, I think the video is called "The Ebb and Flow Are Your New Norm." That's the video. So if you can find that in the most recent like videos that I've uploaded, go watch that if you haven't already. But that's all I have for you. So thank you for letting me read your cards, and thank you for being here. And if anybody wants any personal readings, just check out my website. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Bye.